Hello, I'm Jack, and here are my best pictures from 2024. So, off to the races on the first day, and you're hoping for a good start. But we had the worst possible news. Our dear friend Nigel had passed away. It was a terrible shock to us all, and followed that by grief because it was so unexpected. The service was in Cirencester in the Wool Church, and I was so fortunate to have Ian and Gordon, my good friends, standing next to me. At the same time, Mum was saying her long goodbyes. She'd been on this planet now over 99 years, and it was time to walk away, buried in Llanganoed with her husband and mother. And I was, again, pleased to be supported by Thomas, Daniel and Matthew. She's just over there now, over that wall with her parents. And I'm going to miss her. She was always my guide, always helpful. I wish I could have done more for her at the end, but at least I managed to get these videos of her life together. Still, life goes on, and kick off with cycling. We'd bought Matthew an electric bike to get him to work for his new job as a teacher, and I got one as well, which meant I could now cycle again over the Cotswolds to Cirencester, past all of these beautiful, beautiful churches, and have lunch in Cirencester and then come back again. Also go cycling off around Winchcombe, and you find the most fabulous buildings up there on the escarpment, and indeed all around Cheltenham, wonderful buildings to be found. Walking through Cheltenham to Southampton Park to the swimming pool, because the Lido's opened in April, which means I can go diving in, trying to get in for 8:30, which is a good time, and then here we are, Auntie Sue with Mel at the pool. And also then walking. This is top of the Sugarloaf in Abergavenny. Here's Mel with a view over the Brecon Beacons. That was great. Then this is Broadway with Ellie and Darius. There they are, looking very happy. Even more churches there as well. That's good to see. And Abbeys is Tewkesbury Abbey with Amber and Matt, and they got engaged, and that great. I think they'll have a most fabulous marriage, and wish them all the best. Matthew went off to Japan and went walking all the way up Mount Fuji in the pouring rain, but just for 20 minutes the sun came out and the views, that was great. And Mel's parents came up, took him on the train, took him up onto the top of the church and down to Gloucester Cathedral. Amazing place. In this photograph here you can see it's full of Satanists. Look at those red windows. And talking of Satanists, here's Roy and Karma, and they took us off to Rodmartin House, which was very nice indeed. And this church is halfway between Cardiff and Newport, because I was finishing off the section and I wanted to do all the way from Severn Bridge to Swansea, which I've done now. Very pleased about that. And I've also done most of the Gower. Here's Mike on kind of Three Cliffs Bay with the boys. That's very good. And on the way back from there, went to Neath. The Neath is on my grandfather clock, and the Abbey is still standing, which is quite something. And again, I've managed to chronicle all of those videos. Here's Ellie again with her mum and with Darius, who's looking very pleased with himself. And we went off to Malmesbury Abbey. Yes, there's Malmesbury Abbey. Daniel was also very pleased with himself. He beat Thomas in the Cheltenham Half Marathon. Jasmine was there to see that heroic event. And Alfie did a 6-day mega run, the most heroic thing I've ever seen. This beautiful house in the church is near Stroud. Mel fell down the hill on her bottom on the way to this church. That's why she's looking upset. Not so upset here are May Hill with her sister Jenny, and then on Cleve Hill on Boxing Day, and here I am with my boys. Now then, people and places. I'm going to try and remember all of this. Here's Dominic, he's a good old boy in San Francisco. So I went off to do a little wine tasting and making, and look at this fabulous husband and wife team getting ready to move to Portugal. This is the Wills building in Bristol. It's absolutely fabulous inside. Matthew had got his master's, graduating. He did so well. He did it part-time whilst teaching. And the gang went off to Madeira. We had a great time walking around the place. 7 of us now, not 8, so we missed Nigel. Jasmine and Millie on a skiing holiday to Zell Great time had by all. And here's Mike and Bronwyn, the great hosts in Portugal. And we had a whole host of us out there. And it's like getting the gang back together from the 80s, kind of work kids kind of coming to an end, really. That was good. And me, yes, I'm Cheddar Gorge. I remember my school days going down to see Philip and Catherine. Look, everybody, it's Mick Jagger!
The Johnny Rock and Roll, man! The Johnny Rock and Roll!
And his friend Kate Bush!
Out of the wind, why people?
Perfect. Yeah, here's Dom with Mel and Rachel in Leicester Square, because Lucy's having one of her fabulous parties with these beautiful people here, and Rob now knows what it's like to be a little bit shorter. Thomas, well, he's the cat that got the cream, and Peter here with all of our Henley gang. I rode them in the late 70s, early 80s. Mel and Ben fast doing all the tourist things, but it's not really a straightforward tourist town. There's a lot of tension between the Unionists and Republicans, and I think that will take a long time to die down. Oranges and Lemons, what a great photograph here. And here's John on Churchill's seat with Annie, and we went out for a meal afterwards with the standings. And then in Copenhagen with Ian and Gordon, that was great, really funky architecture, old and new. And treated Mel to a trip to Barry Island and Penarth Pier, stayed in Cardiff, and then on to Caerphilly Castle and Castlecoch. That was quite something. This is another trip on the way to Bath and see Chris and Sally, who are in full flow. Here's Sally in full flow. And Mel, well, she finally moved out of London after 35 years. Went to see Lizzie, that was great. Called in at Wells on the way back. What a fantastic place. Absolutely beautiful. Look at the architecture in this chapel house here, fantastic. So that was a good trip as well. And here the boys, Mike and Chris, I've seen Super Swans, and then they came to see me on a really hot summer's day. We even went to Cardiff, but you have to do that if you want to watch the rugby. We got hammered by Australia. This is the Inns Court. Went there with Mr. Peter Needham and my new best friend, because I kind of half collapsed on the train on the way back. Everybody loves the Beehive, but oh no, Thomas is upset and that's got Daniel going. He's upset. No, we've got a chain reaction now because Matthew's off and so am I. But in reality, all three of the boys are good year. They're all making good progress in life, which is good to see. So very pleased about that. I went off to Vietnam, Hanoi here. This is old Vietnam. There's still glimpses of that. There's definitely a tourist Vietnam emerging, as well as a new vibrant city of Vietnam. So that was quite a trip. I went by myself and fitted in, I think, really well with the group, which is nice. You get the kind of standard tourist shots. My favourite lady, the pineapple lady at the floating market, and even got into Cambodia, which was great. What's this? Charlie and Lizzie, they're engaged as well. That was a really good start to the holiday in Zellemzee. And look, it's Grindelwald. And look at all these kids here, all by the mountain. So what happened in Cheltenham all this time? Well, here's Mel with a David Hockney pose. And there are a few churches, old churches in Cheltenham. But Mel's energies moved on now from the house, which is pretty much finished, to the garden. And I have to say, it put on a spectacular show for 10 months of the year. Any single time there was something good, the plant of the month doing spectacularly well. So much so that even Daniel's low-life friends were moved to comment at the astonishing kind of beauty of it all. Somebody else who liked it was Flash. He was king of the garden and after the fox. And I was worried about my lovely lawn and sitting out in the garden in the sunshine. You see them here, you see them there. These are the trees. This is Roddy's tree next door, going beautiful, golden brown, as is a beech tree and then a hornbeam. And these boys came and gave the hornbeam a haircut, which was good, did a great job. And this is the house at dusk time. My birthday, here with Jenny and Gordon, up at the top in Imperial Square. And also went to the theatre with Gary and Jackie. That was really nice. Ian's educated proboscis in there in the wine, which he does well. And Roddy and Rose from next door, again at the theatre. Jacob, his granny, coming up to fetch him. And Becca and James. We love going to the Beehive with Becca and James. These guys were really happy. This guy had no idea how to run an election. But this guy did, and he won. So we'll see what happens. And then it's Thomas on kind of Christmas Day. And then Boxing Day in the Beehive with our hero Alfie. Cheltenham Cricket Festival, the boys from the road, and Rachel, because Belly was playing. Cheltenham Literary Festival, yes, we got Matthew there with Elmo, which is good to see. Highlight, though, was the Jazz Festival. Thought that was absolutely fantastic. Young guitarists kind of rocking it down, better than Clapton, who we saw a few days later. Texas, or we went to see Texas and Cardiff. They were great. But nothing can beat the Ukulele Festival. So I wish you all the best for 2025. 2024, well, it started badly, but it finished well. Here are all the kids here in Grindelwald on New Year's Eve having a great time. And I hope you have a great time too. Okay, cheerio, bye-bye, bye-bye.